All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. All right, so I just watched another brilliant video from Chael Sonnen that prompted me to do this video, all right? Now, the video that he did was about what fights he's most excited to see in 2021, okay? Now, it only barely brushed over what I'm gonna talk about. However, it prompted me to realize the fights I'm most excited for and the ones that I hope happen the most. And I realized there's one division that stands out among all others, where you could basically build somewhere between 6 to 7 main events that everyone would be bleeding out of their eyes. They'd be so excited to watch out of a single division, okay? I am serious about that, and I'm gonna run through them right now, and I'll run through these combinations, and you tell me if I'm wrong, okay? And by the way, that division is welterweight. So if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Forward this to your friends. See if anyone has any different conclusions. Comment, share, like all those YouTube things that help me. So here's the deal. I was thinking about what Chael said, because what he said was he's really excited for Usman and Burns, and he's really excited for Masvidal and Colby. And he was saying that those are like the two fights that intrigue him the most. And I was like, yeah, I like both those fights a lot. And then I started thinking about, what about and then the winner of those two fight each other, and then the losers fight each other. And then I was like, man, let me just actually think about this. Let me think about all the matchups at welterweight, and let's literally run through these dream scenarios that could happen this year, okay? Think about this, all right? At welterweight, and the reason this is top of mind also, I mean, aside from just that I was thinking about it, is because Wonder Boy just called out Masvidal, and I said specifically I thought that was a bad call out because I don't think he has any chance of getting that fight, and it's because of this. It's because of the list of fighters at welterweight that Masvidal would ultimately fight before Thompson, right? Because here's the other thing before I start down this road. Masvidal responded, he said, yeah, I'll take that fight, because of course he wants it back, okay? But the UFC's not going to give him that fight. They're just not. Because Masvidal's too valuable a commodity. You should take that as being flattering, right? He's too big of a star to fight Wonder Boy, at least right now, all right? But here's the thing. That's why I literally was just looking at this like, oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just run through this, right? Let me run through the matchups, or just run through the fighters that are going to exist in my matchups, okay? You got Usman, obviously. You have Colby. You have Masvidal. You have Leon Edwards. You have Burns, Chimaev, and Connor, all right? Now, seriously, just go like this. Throw those names up in the air and just let them land wherever they are and just kind of scoot them together, and any combination of two fighters off that list is going to be a bananas main event, right? Literally, I'll just randomly pick. Okay, Usman versus Burns. We already got that one. Usman versus Chimaev. Geez, I wonder if anybody's going to be interested in that fight. How about Usman versus Connor? Anyone going to watch that one? Usman versus Colby, part 2. Bananas fight, okay? Usman versus Masvidal 2. Anybody gonna watch that? Usman versus Edwards, the rematch. Okay, like just right out of the gate, any one of these guys versus the champion is a huge fight, and we're gonna get to see Burns. And I've already told you guys who I think is gonna win that fight. Although, after watching what Khabib did to Gaethje, that has me all shook up, man. Like in terms of predicting what's gonna happen, the whole like strengths and weaknesses thing has my mind all fucked up now, because Gaethje on paper should have been able to like nullify, Khabib's big, obviously, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You can't take anything Khabib did as anything, and I'm just acknowledging actually that Khabib's so good that it like broke my brain in terms of being confident about picks. But theoretically, Usman should not want to take Burns to the ground. Just straight up, that is just a direct strength against strength that Usman's going to want to stay away from. And I just think on the feet, Burns is a monster. All right, anyway. So that's just Usman, right? That's just Usman. Now let's go to Colby, okay? Colby versus Masvidal. Grand slam fight, right? Colby versus Leon Edwards. Huge fight. Huge fight. Colby versus Burns. That'll probably happen. Huge fight. Colby versus Chimaev. Okay, imagine that trolling. Just imagine all the shit he'll talk to Chimaev, and Chimaev, his Chechnyan incapability for letting things roll off his back. Chimaev flew to Ireland to fight Connor when he was an amateur. Okay, because Connor was talking all that shit to Khabib and talking about Muslims, and Chimaev flew to Ireland with no plan. He's just like, I'm going to go find him, and I'm going to fight him. Okay, so how do you think he's going to take, Colby running his mouth? Okay, so that's another massive fight. Colby versus Connor. Right? Seriously, think about that buildup. Connor would eat Colby alive. Okay, that's like character versus the apex predator, right? At least I'm talking in the press conferences, obviously. Then you got Masvidal. Okay, so you already got Masvidal, Usman, Masvidal, Colby. How about Masvidal versus Edwards? Jeez, I feel like they might have cut a promo after the Darren Till fight when, Masvidal punched Leon Edwards in the face. So that's a half decent fight. And that's probably who Leon Edwards will get if he beats Chimaev. Then you got Edwards versus Burns. That's a big fight. Edwards versus Chimaev. I'm sorry. Wait. Masvidal versus Chimaev. Sorry. Masvidal versus Burns. Masvidal versus Chimaev. Huge fights. And then, of course, Masvidal Conor. We're going to see that fight. There's too much money there. That's the same reason why Conor's going to end up fighting Khabib, right? Or Khabib's going to come back and fight Conor. Is the same reason why that Masvidal and Conor fight, that's going to happen at some point. That's too much money. They won't lay that on the table. Then you got Edwards. Okay, we already did Edwards, Colby, Masvidal, and Usman. How about Edwards versus Burns? Right? How about Edwards versus Chimaev? We got that. And then Edwards versus Conor, whatever. Burns, Chimaev, and then Chimaev and Conor. I mean, dude, think of how many fights that is. How many fights is that? Like, which of those fights are you not going to, cancel every plan that you have to watch? I mean, seriously, there are no fights there that people are not texting about. Oh, that's all one division. It's one division that can produce that many awesome fights. So 2021 is going to be a major win for UFC. I can just feel it. If you can pull just off of one division that level of interest, I mean, it's going to go gangbusters. And when Conor knocks out Poirier in the first round, okay, it's actually crazy to even think. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make another video about that. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to cut that off right there. If you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Which of those fights would you most like to see? That's what I want to know. Which of those fights would you most like to see? Put it in the comments. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.